Hey dreamers, welcome back to Manifest with Metty. If you're new here, welcome. This is the place where mindset meets money, manifestation meets strategy, and we learn how to become the highest version of ourselves. Today's episode was inspired by a TikTok. The creator was talking to God, right? And the point of the video was like, stop asking for things. Or it's not to stop asking, but it was ask God different questions. She talked about asking different questions. So instead of asking God, why is this happening to me? She started asking things like, why am I so successful? Why am I so wealthy? Why am I so healthy? Right? Why am I so influential? And I thought to myself, wait a minute. How many of us are accidentally reprogramming our minds for struggle by the questions we repeatedly ask? The questions we ask matter. Think about it. If you constantly ask, why am I always broke? Your brain immediately starts looking for evidence. That's how the mind works. So the mind's going to say, oh, you broke because of this bill. You broke because you have to pay that expense. You broke because of this setback. Your mind becomes a detective searching for proof. But what happens when you flip the script? What happens when you ask, why am I becoming financially free? Why am I so strategic with money? Why do opportunities keep finding me? Why do I make smart financial decisions? Now, your brain has an assignment. It's starting to look for some evidence, but this time, it's looking for evidence of abundance instead of lack. Now, dreamers, let's be clear. This is not magic. You can't ask why you're wealthy while ignoring your bank account, your budget, and your goals. But what you can do is align your mindset with your actions. Because wealthy people think differently. They don't just spend money, they invest it. They don't just earn income, they create assets. They don't just react, they plan. And if you're constantly identifying yourself as someone who struggles, you'll subconsciously create decisions that support that identity. Lately, I've started asking myself questions like, why am I so disciplined? Why am I such a good steward of money? Why do my investments continue to grow? Why do opportunities keep appearing? Why am I so strategic? Why do people enjoy supporting my businesses? Why am I attracting partnerships and sponsorships? Why do my ideas create value? Why am I becoming wealthier every year? Notice something? These questions aren't about pretending. They're about becoming. This reminds me of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 7. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. In other words, the thoughts you consistently hold become the life you consistently create. Your beliefs influence your actions, guys. And your actions influence your habits, right? Your habits influence your outcomes. That's why mindset matters. Because mindset determines how you approach the work. I want to challenge you. Write down 5 empowering questions. Maybe yours look like, why am I becoming financially independent? Why do I consistently make wise decisions? Why am I attracting abundance? Why am I so resourceful? Why do I always find a way? Then read those questions every morning for the next 7 days. Watch what happens. Watch how your attention shifts. Watch how your confidence shifts. Watch how your decisions begin to align with the person you're becoming. Today's lesson is simple. The quality of your life is often influenced by the quality of the questions you ask yourself or God. Stop asking questions that reinforce limitation and start asking questions that reinforce possibility. Then back those questions up with action. Budget, invest, learn, save, build, grow. Because manifestation without action is just a wish. It becomes manifestation with action becomes a strategy. All right, now we're going to get into some financial affirmations. Go ahead and repeat after me, either out loud or in your head. I am a wise steward of my resources. I make strategic financial decisions. I attract opportunities that create abundance. My actions align with my goals. Wealth flows to me because I create value. I am becoming financially free. Thank you for joining me for another Financial Literacy Friday. If this episode resonated with you, comment your city and tell me one empowering financial question you're asking yourself this week. Remember, dreamers, your future is being built by the thoughts you're thinking right now and the actions you take today. Stay grounded. Stay growing. Let's go, dreamers. I love you.